It's Tuesday, February 24th, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Champaign, Illinois. You're joining me, all four of you, for session 5 of our playthrough of Etherfields. Jonathan and I and Isara finished last night. A very weird session. I don't think it left us with the best feeling. And I am going to be off next week, so I think Jonathan and I both have the same thought. Maybe we'll get in another game this week before we wrap this up. So we need to talk a little bit about what our plans are. In our last session, we went into a dream. It was a bit of a broken dream. Our sensei, our person who's been guiding us through Etherfields, Ghost Drive, who's in Singapore, was it? Was saying that, you know, we really could have figured out the rules, but I do think the rules were broken. But it's clear in retrospect what we were meant to do. And I think in general, in this game, it feels like you gotta, sometimes you're in a dream world with rules that are a little weird, but are internally somewhat consistent. And so I don't think we're gonna stress out about rules. If we can't figure something out, we'll make our best. It's not like a strategic game where if you get one little thing wrong, everything gets out of balance. This is not a game that's that carefully balanced. Anyway, we went and had this weird dream in a basement, and it seemed like maybe we did it out of order, but that we'll be back in there, so that's okay. And we did discover a bunch more dreams, so actually now we have 4 dreams that are currently available. And I kind of am happy about this idea that it's feeling a little bit more like an open world, because there are 4 different dreams we could go to in any order. One of them is green. I don't know what that means. That's the return to the place we were last in. That only needs 1 key to go in. All the other places need 2 keys. We are in suburbia, so we're actually in the location where I have to catch this train is. This is the place I'm leaning towards. It would only cure us 1 distress. We're sitting on 5 distress. That's a bit of a concern. But I feel like the train might be a nice thing to do because there are these train railroad stations on the Dream World map. There's one right there. And the rules for that say, you'll find out when you find out. So it's kind of fun to think that we might unlock that by going here. On the other hand, we put off going to our number 2 dream because it seems like a rest dream. And maybe we could have gone there right away, but we didn't really need the rest, so we diverted to this other dream, but now we do need the rest, but we're kind of far away from this dream. But we're not that far away from it. We're not that far away, in fact. So this rest dream, I mean, we say rest, but it just seems like it's not. It says you can always rest in the past. It's not super rest, but it does cure 2. And it's in Metropolis. Now, we're not that far from Metropolis. We're here. If we wanted to go to Metropolis, we could take a shortcut to this sanctuary. We have a card that lets us take a shortcut for free instead of getting a flaw. That would get us to the sanctuary. The sanctuary has its own benefit. It would let us unseal a card of ours. We do have 2 cards sealed. They're not so amazing that we really care about which one. We could also unflip a progress card or shuffle our influence deck. We actually have quite a few cards in the discard pile. So that would save us a distress, save us from having to reshuffle. So Sanctuary is not a terrible idea. And then from the Sanctuary, we would go here, which would get us Fate. And then here, a Fate. And then here to that dream where we could rest. That's not a terrible idea. Or we could just jump right into the train station where we are. Now, there's one, probably the thing that's most worth thinking about in terms of resting strategy is there's perhaps the strangest thing about this entire game. It's a strange game in a strange world, but the most unintuitive mechanical aspect of Etherfields to me is how much it doesn't reset between scenarios. Like almost every other game, you build up your deck or your powers or your items, but between scenarios, you sort of heal. It's just a very natural concept that between scenarios, you sort of reshuffle your deck, you re-ready your items, etc. In Etherfields, there's a very strange reset procedure. It doesn't happen automatically, so we're continuing from yesterday with our same exact hand, our same exact set of discarded cards and draw deck, our same wounds, our same number of gems and ether. And that would never reset until we decide to awake on this map. Not in a dream, but on this map. And at any time, we can say, okay, we're going to wake up. We're going to have a little bit of an awakening. And the awakening is a very full reset. Basically, all your wounds get cured. All your sealed cards get unsealed. All of your influence deck, not only does it reshuffle, but you can rebuild it. But you lose your keys and your gems, and that is the most painful part, and you restore 3 items, so everything is good, except you lose keys and gems. But what it means is we need to remember that after we spend our keys going into a dream, we should absolutely reset because there's no drawback to it. As long as we don't have keys and gems to lose, we should absolutely reset. And we probably should have remembered to do that before we went into the last dream. So my gut is telling me that we could survive if you get, is it only 8 of these distress that kills you? Is it 8? Because 8, if we've got 5 out of 8, that's deadly. But or is it 10? I'm trying to remember now. If it's 10 and we're halfway, I think we could last it out. Does anyone remember? Is it 8 or is it 10? Dying. 8th. If you get your 8th one, you die. So we have 5 distress. When we get 8, we die. We are going to reset one of them when we go into our next dream, or 2 of them if we go into the sleepy one. That would put us to less than half, so that would be pretty safe. We get rid of only one of them by going into the train station. It would still put us at half. And we've got enough stuff that maybe instead what we do is, instead of taking distress when bad things happen to us, we'd try to lean on sealing cards instead. We have 2 more dreams, but I just don't think that those are realistic for us. It's just these 2 that we should consider. And then the other issue is shifting to the version 2 map, because I already started getting a little tired of the of the slumbers. So let me just see if we were to open up the version 2 map, what would that look like? So here is the version 1 map. We're here. We want to go here or stay in here. So if we put ourselves here, and we wanted to go, it would be very similar. We would go either in this dream or up to this stream here through a sanctuary. So very similar. We're either going to go to the second dream we discovered, the rest dream, by passing through a bunch of fate, basically 3 fate and a sanctuary, or we just go right where we are in right now. Sort of depends whether we think the fate is going to hurt us. Now, let me show you one last thing. Signs. That's something we unlocked at our last playthrough, which is pretty cool. So every character in this game has their own set of like maybe 10 little tokens, triangular tokens with pictures on them. And it says, when a player notices a fragment of art on any game element currently in play that matches the image on one of these triangular tokens, you immediately read some paragraph. It's like having a little deja vu memory. So I have the tokens for us, but what I did for us is I scanned the tokens so that we could see them more clearly, perhaps. So let's just go over these because you guys have to be keeping your eye open for these. This one looks very recognizable, a red barn house. Then we got two that look like they have sort of grandfather clock images. This one, someone is carrying a bandaged head person. This looks like another grandfather clock thing. This one looks like red bloody tentacles. This one looks like a view screen of outer space with maybe a rear view mirror screen. Maybe it's upside down. These look like some weird cobwebs. This one, I don't know what this is, a stripe. And this one looks like some sand dune place. And this looks like some little fish creature. So keep your eye open for these. If you want to take a screenshot of it. All right, let's see. Jonathan says, now let's get your opinions. What do you guys want to do? Abir says, in general, you really want to avoid awakening, especially when you're far into the game. You'll eventually discover items to help you heal. You just need to strategize a bit. Why would we want to avoid awakening? I don't see any downside to it. What is the downside to awakening? Jonathan says, it looks like we might need to unlock the train station to get to the docks without taking a flaw. So I guess we might as well go into the train station. All right, so Jonathan says we should go into the train station. We'll go into the train station. The good news is it's only 7 turns. So how badly can we get hurt in 7 turns? And we will do our best to avoid taking more distress. All right. We're going into the train. All right, so be it. Let's use our stuff. We have a toxin that lets us unseal 5 cards. So what we'll do is we'll start sealing cards and then we'll use all our powers to avoid taking distress is what we'll do. All right. So we're headed towards the train station. Let's take a look and remind ourselves. I'm going to put this blue toxin nearby so that we remember to use it. All right, well, we're on this gate, so we can go right in it. All right, so to enter, we need 2 keys, which we have. Now, I was saying, and I'm still waiting to hear from Abir to tell us, we have basically no more keys after this. So as long as we survive this, we can awaken. Do we have to re-put out our progress cards? I guess yes, we do. But that doesn't seem, it does seem worth it to me. All right, so let's see. Each streamer may cure 1 or unseal their top 1 card. All right, so we're going to cure 1 of our 4 distress. I'm going to put these where you guys can see them so that there's no misunderstanding here. All right, I'm curing 1 of them. Now we're down to 4. That's still half of what we can take. All right, take all 114 cards. Now keep your eye open for that art. $114 secret cards. Okay, so there's a 114 all the way up from A to E. Okay, and it looks kind of cool. It's a train station here. Okay. Let's put those aside. Reveal both setup tiles. Okay, so I have to take the 114 tiles. Okay, so there's the 114 tiles, and there's the two 114 setup cards. Let's put our dream world off here. We'll remember where we are on it. Reveal both setup cards. Okay, so here's our setup, B1 and B2. I'm going to show you those right now. We'll put this right here. Okay, so we're in a train station. We've got a ticket window, a conveyor belt, talk to the strange figure who's standing here. There's a medium line. Excuse me, does this train head for my home? We can rescue a dog who I can't even see. Let's see. Damn, I missed the train. There's a clock. Is that one of our clocks? We might have to look at that to see if it is. I don't think it is. Do not cross the yellow line. Okay. What's here? There's a long line, a medium line, a reverse clock. We can check the suspicious luggage. Here's our entrance, and that's where we start. Now, is this clock one of our clocks? It looks like this clock, but not quite. Not quite. Doesn't look like it's our clocks. It's close, but not quite. Okay, let's see. Two people are explaining why not to awakening. Later, you can buy more influence cards, and eventually your deck will go over 40 cards. You'll be much stronger. If you do an awakening, you'll have to rebuild. You'll go back to 40. Okay, well, we don't have 40. You don't even have close to 40 now. So we don't have that issue. Okay, well, for now, that's not important for us. Okay, I see my little chat thing freaked out a bit. Let me try restarting this here. Okay, well, that's not an issue for us now, though. So, all right, so there's our place. We'll take another look at that in a minute. Let's do the rest of setup. Each dreamer gains 2 baggage, and it says to use these generic threats. Place them on their dreamer board. Okay, I'm just going to put them over here. We also have 5 hours, so we can take 20 more turns. Take all 6 A cards and prepare a train deck. Check what time it is in the real world. Pay attention only to minutes. It's the time in the game world. Okay. So we look at our train deck. The A cards. All right, there's 6 of them. Check what time it is in the real world. Okay, it's 10:28. It says it's the time in the game world. So are we here at this 25-minute card? If it's 10:13, find the card with the 10:15 on its back. Then place it on the top of the train deck. Okay. Place the remaining in order of their departure time. Don't place any trains on the platform. Okay, so here it's again not quite. Oh. Okay. There's generic tokens. All right, I'm going to check that in a second. All right, so look, we're obviously supposed to take this 1035 card because we're past the 1025. And it says the rules say, take this card, put it on top. Put the remaining cards in order of their departure time. So I guess the 1005 starts here. And we take the 1035 on top rather than put this underneath. So I'm following the rules. I've got the 1035 on top and then start at the low numbers. Place it on top of the train deck. Okay, then place the remaining in order of their departure time. Don't place any trains on the platform. Is that going to mess with us? Because... All right, well, if it moves with real time, then we'll have to adjust it because we play slow deliberately. Don't place any trains on the platform. The station is empty at the moment. Okay, I guess maybe this is where the trains would go. Okay, 7 turns in the turn deck. Let me get that out. And then before we read our introduction here, I'm going to check out what Ghost Drive was telling us about generic sign tokens. Okay, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 turns for this game. We'll put them here maybe. The rest we won't need. All right, now, what is this about generic signs? Is that right? Am I getting a little too sloppy here with the rules? Let's read what it says about the signs again. Take all the sign tokens. You can keep them anywhere. Each dreamer keeps their sign token next to their dream board. Nothing about generic tokens. I just assumed it was one for each person, but is that not true? Let me see here. So this is all the free spirits tokens here. This is for the gambler, I think. This is for the fighter or whatever he's called. And are these generic ones? Holy cow, look at all these generic tokens. You're right. Oh my God, how are we supposed to keep our eyes open for all of these? That's insanity. Oh my God. Well, okay, I can see I should have done more scanning at some point. All right, let's do this then. Let's put these off to... Let's take the ones we're not going to use. And I'll put them... No, I'll use this. That's what we'll do. Okay, that's pretty crazy how many there are now. I thought that was a manageable number, but clearly not. Okay, so we're going to put these out here. We're going to flip them, and we'll scan them later, but for now it'll be a group effort to try to recognize these occasionally. Boy, that's a lot of them. I guess it's probably just like what they did was you can learn a little bit more about your environment. So maybe when we get in a dream, we'll keep our eyes open. I mean, I can see some stuff. Here's a bell. Maybe we'll put the ones that we think we have a chance of recognizing off to the side. Here's a frog on a table. Here's an eye. Here's some weird something. Here's some emerald. Here's a radiator. Here's a disgusting creature with spots on it. Here's something that looks like we might have a chance at recognizing it. All right, so here's our stuff in addition to the printed one. Crazy. Maybe I'll well, unfortunately our other ones won't fit on here. Maybe I'll make a tray of all of ours. The one in the lower left, is that railroad tracks? It does kind of look like railroad tracks. How exact do we have to be, I wonder? That does look like railroad tracks. What does the rule say about how exact it has to be? When you notice a fragment of art that matches the fragment, it has to match. I mean, maybe we don't have to be super strict, but are there railroad ties between there? Not really. Don't really see ties the way I see them here. Like here you can see ties between the two railroad tracks. And here I don't really see it. So maybe not. You think there are ties? Well, it's not going to kill us to read this. All right, let's go read this. 1144. If it's not, is the back of this any clue? No, they all look like this. Okay, let's just read it and we'll see what happens. If we're wrong, then we're in a dream and we're wrong. It's not the end of the world. All right. Jonathan thinks these are the railroad tracks. 1144. 1144. Sorry, hello there. Can you help me? I'm a little bit lost. A timid voice comes from the dimly lit tunnel. We notice a small silhouette veiled in darkness waddling towards us. It stops, opens its suitcase, and rummages haphazardly into it. Something flashes in the darkness. Excuse me, is this Prague already? Can you help me? Hello, anybody? Boy, it's so hot in here. When the figure emerges from the darkness, it's hard to hide our surprise. Gain the mini deck of the Penguin. You found a penguin. 234J. I know that the penguin is a miniature, so this is kind of exciting. 234J. I think Jonathan just found a penguin roaming around the subway station. And it's hot. The penguin doesn't like the heat. And he's trying to find Prague. Okay, 234J. Penguin, 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 penguin. All right, let's look at what the penguin cards are. All right, so there's our penguin. I guess this tile is considered finished. Let's see. What will the penguin show us today? Where is that little penguin? Okay, so here he is. We can summon the penguin for 6 green contact intent or 1 ether. If the penguin is not on the dreamscape already, spawn it in range 1. So he jumps out right near us. Then draw and resolve 1 random card from the penguin deck. If another penguin card is already active, return it to the penguin deck. So we don't know yet what these cards are going to be, but when we summon him, he comes out right near us and he triggers one of his cards, which we don't know what it will do. Only 1 penguin card can be active at a time. And here he is trying to catch a train. Pretty cute. All right, I'm going to put him on his deck and put him out on the board next to our cat, next to the flying cat. Okay, so now we have 2 pets. All right, let's go back to our setup here. We have our 2 baggage. We have our 4 distress. I'm going to put the rest of these tiles off out of the way. And the signs out of the way. Train. Let's maybe tie this together so we can move it around a little more easily. All right, and we are going to be coming out on one of these two spaces. We'll decide in a minute. Let's go listen to the introduction. Which is 7:50. Time is malicious by nature. When we hurry, it sprints by. When we wait, it crawls. When we suffer pain, it seems to turn into eternity. When we're happy, it dissolves through our fingers like grains of sand. The clock and calendar are its obedient soldiers, ready to take the last scintilla of joy from us. A large clock hangs on the wall of the station. Half the people here are rushing with suitcases to catch the train, their train, and the other half are waiting, drone-like, until their train arrives. Very few smiles, lots of irritation and pent-up anger. What are we doing here? We're hustling and at the same time waiting for a train. Heavy baggage seemingly appearing out of nowhere. Is it a product of our subconscious? Hinders our movements. Wait, what time is it? Surely it's time to wake up, but we can't. We must board any train, if not to just to escape this station of operational tedium. This reminds us of when our world was ending. Wait, what's this thought? When our world was ending? What a crazy thought. The chaos of the station has crept into our heads. It's hard to think properly here. Each dreamer must seal 3 cards or discard their mask. Seal 3 cards or discard their mask. Are we going to get our mask back? Well, when we rest. I think if we're trying to be smart about, if distress is what's going to kill us, and we get distress sooner rather than later when we go through our deck, I think maybe we should discard our mask. Except for one problem. We've got tests here that are very high. We've got a 10. We've got a 10 green, an 8 green, and a 6 and an 8 wrath. That is very hard to pull off with the normal 6 cards. Having 8 cards definitely helps us. But I'm very hesitant to seal more cards. Any thoughts? I mean, that is such a good mask to have. We really don't want to discard it. All right, let's seal 3 cards. I don't want to give up that mask. So top 3 cards from our deck. Is that the right thing to do? Yes, we have an item that lets us unseal 5. That's the reason to do this. Okay, so 3 cards are getting sealed. We just make sure they're real influence cards. They are. So we are sealing these 3. Now we have 5 sealed cards. So we have a blue toxin. We could use it right now to get those back. And we probably should use it right now, since we're in so much danger. Unseal 5 cards. Return it to the secrets. The reason for us to use it now is, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe when we unseal a card, it goes in our discard. And we're about to reshuffle, so I think we're going to use it right now. So I'm going to return that card and grab all of our cards back out, put them in our discard. I believe that rule is correct. If that rule is not correct and we would get them in our draw deck, then I would wait. But I think since we want them to be able to recycle, we're going to do that right now. Okay. So that was our intro. Now, it made us take a card, put one card on top, but then it says, don't do anything with these yet. Okay. And now let's flip this over and learn about the goal. Okay, the goal is to get rid of our baggage and get on any train. That's fun. If there's a train on a platform, the 2 spaces overlaid by the train are inaccessible. That just means that if there's a train here, we can't go to what's underneath the train. All right. Trains may depart without you. At the end of each turn, all trains matching the current turn suit leave. Place their cards at the bottom of the train deck. You may get on a train if one of the lines in any platform is marked with the blue gem. So there's a medium line and a long line. 2 lines, they're right here. You can see them. They've got gate signs. They're here. Okay, so you have to mark it with a blue gem, and there has to be a train, and we meet all the requirements on the train, and you don't have any baggage, and you're right near the train. If you get on a train there, and Ghost Drive Genetics is just repeating what is confirming what I said. When you unseal, it goes into the discard, and when you shuffle, you get a distress or seal 3. Yeah. Okay. So we have to get rid of our baggage. We have 2 heavy baggage that the game was telling us about. And we have to put a blue gem. And we have to decide if we want to go on any of these places. It says rescue the dog. Is that the dog in that corner there? So we could just wait for the next train and get on it. I kind of need a pair of glasses somewhere. What have I done with all my glasses? All right, we'll get it at the next break. Just trying to think, where is this dog they're talking about? All right, well, let's open up the first turn and get started here, and then we'll decide. So here's our first turn, but there's no enemies out, so there's nothing to happen. But if there was a heart train, it would leave the station. But for now, none of that matters. There's no entities. All right, so Remember that we have 2 baggage. We're going to have to get rid of our baggage to get on a train. You can see there is a conveyor belt. We could put a baggage right on that for 6 yellow intent. And that could be done as many times as we want. So we could walk over there and drop our bags on that conveyor line. We could check this suspicious baggage. That feels like we might get an extra baggage. That seems dangerous. Could check out the long line, check out the medium line. Check out the reverse clock for free. We could look here. What is there? We don't know what that is. And we could try to rescue the dog. All right, let's draw our hand. So 4 cards, 1, 2, and then we have to reshuffle our hand. Now we either have to just take a distress or seal 3 cards. But we can't afford to take any more distress, so I think we're going to choose to seal 3 cards. We're scared to take distress. So here's our 3 cards. Hopefully it's not something important that we need. Hurry, hurry, shining, and hesitation. That's a good card. Okay, so these are now sealed. And we can finish drawing our hand. The nice thing is we can hold up to 8 now. And here's our hand size is increased by 1 if we put this out, which would be nice to do, wouldn't it? But maybe it's not the most important thing to do at this point. This is a little tricky for you to see all of these cards. Normally hand size of 6, but because of our mask, it's 8. All right, let's see if we can give you all this. All right, so what does the group want to do here? Jonathan says, I would prioritize rescuing that dog. Should we spend the ether or 6 green to see the penguin in action? I think we should spend our ether to see the penguin in action. Shall we do it? Surely good things are going to happen. He is in the train station. Okay, so we're going to spend an ether right now to trigger the penguin. Okay, so it says spawn him in range 1. All right, we're going to start out here, and we're going to spawn this penguin over here and let him talk to this figure. Draw and resolve 1 random card from the penguin deck. Okay, here we go. Also, the cat is over here. All right, let's see what the penguin card does that we just paid an ether for. It's the penguin. He's opened up his box. What has he got in his box? When the penguin reaches into its suitcase, you know it will draw out something useful. If you're in range 0 from the penguin, draw 2 more cards during the draw step. And then spend as many green as you want to move the penguin that many spaces. Entities in Dreamscape treat the penguin as another dreamer. If the penguin suffers any damage, discard him and return his card. So, totally useless for us. Until an entity's coming out and get... In other words, he's attracting the enemies, but there are no entities here, so he's of no use to us. This card is of no use to us. I would like to wave our magic penguin wand and have him open up something else. but we'll just put it out for now. We can move the flying cat if we want and then jump, but we might as well move there ourselves. All right, I'm just going to take this penguin off the board for now because he's just kind of in the way. And maybe for the cat, I'll just use a little green marker. That way the cat and the penguin can stay and rest at home. All right, so can we go rescue the dog? Can we even generate 8 if we wanted to? Not with our current hand, really. We've only got a couple of red wrath. Although we could use our bomb to get 5. So 5, 6, 7, 8. We could actually do the dog. We could actually get over to that dog and save him if we use our bomb. I mean, if there's an entity out, that penguin feature would be useful. Just not right now. Do we really want to rescue that dog? I guess we can do it. We just got to be careful. This is spent. All right. So we can use the steam bomb to rescue the dog. All right, let's do it. So we're going to walk over. We're going to walk over. We need to walk 3. So here we go. There's our 3. 3 move to go 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to use our steam bomb for 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And we are rescuing the dog. Let's hope there's a reason why we're rescuing this dog. 247. What is this poor mutt doing here all alone on the tracks? We take the mangy dog in our arms. As if sensing our good intentions, it waits there calmly. When we walk back to the platform, the dog says goodbye with a single bark and a wag of its tail before heading off. Something else beside the dog also disappeared. It has devoured one of my bags. I probably lost some items in it, but at least it's much easier to travel now. Discard 1 baggage. Okay. So we got to drop off one of our 2 baggage that we need to get rid of. So that wasn't totally pointless. And then it said we went back to the platform. So I'm just going to put us right there. All right, now. 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually almost have enough to discard this baggage, and we've got enough to pull up a full hand of cards. So I think we're going to pass this turn here. No train is coming out yet until we trigger it. We have 7 turns. I mean, should we try to get rid of our baggage right away, or might there be some use for our baggage? Feels like we should get rid of it while we're here. So why don't we stop our turn here? So that's 1 of our 7 turns gone. Here's our next turn. None of this matters because there's no train in the station. Well, our next 4 cards. Here's the new card we just got recently, which seems so cool to me. Discard 2 cards, one with red, one with yellow, to gain 3 gems. So I want to do this. I want to do this because with 3 gems, we'll be able to take a lot of chances with re-rolling. Here's our Uncontrolled Flight, another of our new cards. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw away Thoughtful Moment. And I guess I'm going to throw away Slap. We have to throw away all these cards. We're going to throw away all 3 of these into our discard. And we're going to get 3 blue gems. And now, with these gems, we are going to start using the luck die to juice up all of our moves here. Okay, now, can we discard our baggage? 2, 4, 5. We can surely make this work. And we'll get this back. Although this is our nice... move 3 spaces. I mean, that's a good card. I think we should discard our baggage so we can get on a train. So I'm going to use these cards, and then I'm going to roll the luck die. So we just need to get 1 with this. That's an X. That's terrible. We're going to use our little helpers to re-roll. That's a nothing. That would still be a total failure. So we need to re-roll again. That's why we got all these blue gems. There's 1 more blue gem gone. To re-roll. Wow, that's another failure. That's another gem. Okay, that's the one we needed. Yikes. So we've spent 6. And we have gotten rid of our last baggage. Yeah, we can't get on a train with baggage. So we're trying to get rid of this so that when a train comes, we're ready to get on it. So we've gotten rid of our baggage. And we spent a bunch of gems for that. But no train has come out yet. But maybe we have to get on these lines to trigger the train. Or talk to this person. Or reverse the clock. Or look over here. All right, well, let's go to the next turn. Our third turn. Is there some rule we're missing that's going to cause the trains to come out? I did. I paid the costs for the reroll first with the little helpers. Then we failed. I used a blue gem. Then we failed, and I used another blue gem. So first, I always use the little helpers once per turn. But thank you for reminding me. If there's a train on the platform. All right, so no train is triggered. I guess we're going to have to get in a line or contact one of the figures or something to bring out the train. Okay, here's our next step. No entities on the board, thankfully, although we wasted a penguin. Let's get our new hand of cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we could seal this for 3. We could lose this card and heal all of our distress, but I think we're going to skip on that. Oh, I didn't. Oh, did we have to pay 1 green for that? Yes, we did have to pay a green. All right. I will throw away this extra card. All right, we have to pay for the little helpers. Thank you. All right, I did forget to do that. Thank you. All right, so what are we going to do now? If we wanted to contact this creature here, which is pretty cool looking creature, it's a contact of 10, which is pretty cool. I'm very tempted to do it. If we wanted to, a contact can be done in a range of 1, so we're far enough to do it. If we wanted to do that, we could trigger it because, let's see, we could use this item for 6 and then 7, 8, 9, 10. Or 7, 8, 9, 10. So do we want to talk to the strange figure for 10? It's a huge cost. But it seems like it might be kind of fun to do it. And as good a time as any to use this card. Do we think we can trust him? I just don't know. He looks scary, I got to admit. He looks very scary, but I mean, do we need to look at the clock? The clock is free. I mean, if we're gonna do this, we should do it now before the train starts coming. I think we should do this. I think we should talk to this guy. I think we should do it. 10 seems like it's gotta be good. I'm gonna do it. All right, so we're gonna spend our spring perfumes, which cost us 6. I mean, cost us free, but we do a contact for 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 green. Now, we discarded an item, so it doesn't go into our discard. It goes into our item market, or our item storage. Okay, so we've talked to this guy, 635. Is this going to be another penguin, or is this going to be worth it? This is a bizarre character. Long arms, hands sweeping the ground, large glowing eyes under his shaded hood. Certainly the figure came from somewhere far away and now intends to go further. You also have a long way behind you, he says, as if reading our minds. A long way behind us. Okay, do you want to ask about the trains, or do you want to talk to him? Jonathan just wants to hear about him, not the trains. Okay, do you want to talk to him, huh? I don't know if we get to do both of these. Unless it says we don't, we might do. Okay, Jonathan wants to ask him about himself. It's strange, but sometimes we can talk without saying a word. Not with everyone, of course, but this time it worked. We would have said even more about where we came from, how we got here, and where we're going if only we ourselves were in a position to know. We express our frustration. Don't worry, it's only natural. Wherever you came from, it was a different time and a different place. I can feel that. When you cross the barrier, you have such an effect on both worlds that your memories get scrambled, partially annulled, and must be recreated again in this new, transformed world. It's no ordinary amnesia. It's known as the travel effect. I must move on now, destined to spend but a moment in any one place. There are so many worlds to visit. Well, that's the job. But I think we'll meet again. An address pops into our heads. I hope we don't forget it. Gain card 234D, the Space Wanderer. 234D. We've just met the Space Wanderer. I mean, that sounds pretty cool. I'm not unhappy about that little encounter we just had. So we've just met a resident of Metropolis. You may use this note card only in the city that never sleeps. Return to the Eternal City Dream if there is a spaceport space. I mean, that's confusing. What have we got? Do we get to look at this now? I guess we get to look at it. It's the Space Wanderer. Place this card next to the spaceport space. This card is active until the dream ends. If you are in the spaceport space, you can spend I don't know what this is. 2 green, or return this card to the secret. Seal the top card to gain a key and cure a thing. So we spend 2 green intent from the dreamscape. No, not from the dreamscape. And what's this? 635. Do we get to look that up now? This is all a little confusing, I have to admit. You can use this note card only in the City Never Sleeps or return to the Eternal City Dream. Okay, so we have to go into the specific dream to use this card if there's a spaceport space. And then once we do, this lets us gain a key inside this dream. And then we see a 635 here. Does that mean we can look this up? I mean, we could try just looking it up. And it doesn't say we can't go back and do that other action, but I'm guessing we can't. So we're done with him. Let's see what happens if we do 635, just to see. This is a bizarre character. So that's what brought him out. Oh, I see, 635, 635. I mean, when else are we going to ask him about trains? Okay, we got to remember. We have to remember, we don't, when something's not clear, we're in a dream. We can make our own rules to some extent. So I am going to say we've spotted his number. He does he look like a dog? He does kind of look like, I don't know, he kind of looks like a cat too. I'm going to stop him before he leaves. Tell us about the trains. Trains? Oh, there are always some trains you can board, like this one. We turn around. They're right. We hadn't noticed it before. You may place ramshackle locomotive from the train deck, if it's not yet on the board, at any platform. If there was a train there already, discard that one to the bottom of the train deck first. Some of these trains can get you to places you cannot reach in any other way. Check the Dream World map yourself. Look for cutoff stations. Gain tile W Horizon Dream World map tile unless you have it already. We don't. That guy has just showed us a new locomotive train. All right, so W. So here is file W of the Dream World. Now, whether you don't like that that I'm talking to him about the trains or not, that's your decision, but I'm okay with it. So we learned we learned about a new area in Dream World, Phantasmagoria. And it tells us to go find the ramshackle locomotive. Okay, ramshackle locomotive was the 15 train. All right, do you see any images that we care about on our tiles? Not really that I see. And so here is the ramshackle locomotive. You may travel to, no one knows. If you get on this train, S308 instead of 870. So normally if you get on a train, you go to 870. But this one says, hey, if you get on this train, don't follow that normal rule, just go to S308. And the next time the end of a turn comes with a spade, it'll leave. This is pretty cool, I gotta say. I mean, you gotta appreciate the weird logic of this game. This is the version 1W. This is the version 1W. If you want to see the version 2W, it's here. No, wait, that's... Game tile W, the Horizon Dream World. Maybe, okay, maybe we weren't supposed to see that. We were supposed to see Horizon because there's multiple W's. Sorry, okay. We weren't supposed to see that. This is where that guy goes. I don't know why. There's multiple W's. Okay, that's confusing. The version 2W is over here somewhere. No. Horizon. It's a little confusing here. Why? I don't know why they didn't give these their own names, their own letters. I don't see the version. I've marked with this little red thing the version ones. Yes, that is our red house. All right, I believe that's our version 1. The red dots I put on the version 1s. Yeah, so that's a version 1. Somewhere there's a version 2 of this map, but it's probably in the... It's probably at 114. So I'll get it out here before we continue. Nope, 114's gone. Okay, well, it's somewhere. All right, so as soon as we see this, I guess we're going to look at it before. So it goes out right over here. So there's our map. This is where this one connects right here. And we notice from our personal tiles that we recognize our red barn. So, where are our personal tiles? Why don't we take our 8-minute break? We're way overdue. I'll find our personal tiles. I'll try to find the version 2 world map. I'll see you in 8 minutes. All right, so we've got a couple things. In the chat is a discussion about, do we want to get on this train where it may leave us in this horizon area? Abir says, if I remember correctly, we need to check the real world time, so whenever a train arrives, we know what train to put in the train deck. So that's, I'm assuming you're not remembering from playing, but from the rules. It's a little weird. It had us build this deck and put this card on top, but nothing has told us to put a card out yet until this card came out from Talking to the Sky. But if you look at the rules from here, it is actually interesting. It says, when a spade comes up on the end of turn, this goes away. But look what it says. If that happens, this goes away. It goes at the bottom of this deck, and then it says, place a new card from the top of the train pile in its place. So wherever we can put this one here or here, wherever we put it, it's going to keep getting new trains arriving there. So we could get on this one or wait to see what train comes next. However, we don't have a way to get on it yet. It says there has to be a blue gem on the line. So I think we have to trigger this line first. I don't know if we want to go onto this train. I did say I was looking for the version 2 of this card. Here is the version 2. It looks very similar to the version 1 of this card. They're both very plain little cycle, but both of them have our house here. So I suppose the first thing we should do is decide where to put this train. Here or here? Do you have a preference? I think maybe we should put it here. The medium line. I don't know, one line looks cheaper than another, but we don't know why. So I'm going to put this here for now. And maybe our plan will be to trigger this medium line and see how it works. Now, before we go any further with that though, let's trigger this. Let's trigger this memory from seeing it in Horizon. But now, is that in play yet? What did the rule tell us? Gain tile W. I mean, I guess we've gained it. All right, so let's do this trigger. This is our personal trigger, 1125. Okay, and then I'm going to address the chat because you're saying something that I don't see any rules for, but we'll do it in a second. This is our personal memory. For many years, in the darkest of moments, when I was losing my faith and life seemed to be crumbling to dust around me, I could always go back there, to the warm sunny days and beautiful golden hills. In time, I didn't know if they were really just childhood memories or a strange, hidden, made-up land, always looming somewhere over the horizon, sometimes visible, but which no one would ever be able to reach. And then we've got our image on the top right, and then the image of something else, maybe the generic Etherfields icon, I don't really know. And we just got an ether. Okay, so we got an ether for doing that. Now, let me address this issue. If I remember correctly, we check the real world time, so whenever a train arrives, we know what train to put in the train deck. That is not what the rules said. The rules just told us that at setup time, we took the train that was closest to our current real time and put it on top, and then put the rest in order, which is a very weird thing to do. But that's all we do. Nothing else has told us to do anything different. So that was the card on top. The first train that's going to come off this was the time that we started this game. But that's it. Everything else stays the same. Well, we don't have enough to trigger this medium line, so I think it's time for a new turn. No train taking off on diamonds, so we don't have to worry about that. And heart, there's no heart train, so no train's going to be leaving the station yet. Here's our next turn with our next 4 cards, 2, 3. We're out of cards. We have to reshuffle again. I think we're going to have to take a distress because we can't afford to keep sealing cards. We're at 5 of our 8 distress. Just keep that in mind. We do have a card in here, however, that cures distress. We may have to use that. Okay, so I think I took 3, 4. All right. Now, oops, we've got a hand of 7. Put the train deck off to this side. Wow, we don't have a lot of red in our hand. We may have to start buying cards with Wrath because we're suffering a little bit without Wrath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could seal this for another 3. Or we could try to re-roll and get 2. So this is not an attack, so we have to be on this space. So surely we're walking to the right. So let's go ahead and do that right away. Although we could use that. But we need this for our... Wow, distress. We really can't afford that. All right, well, let's walk over with this 1 yellow. Seems to me we should try to do this with the 6. Or if we reverse the clock, is it going to make it easier? 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd still need 2 more red. We could take a distress to gain 3, but wow, we are in the worst position to be taking distress, so I really don't think we can do that. I mean, we kind of have time. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we took a distress, we could wait on this medium line, but we could also flip the card to gain 2 red. 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe that's what to do. I think that's what we'll do. So this card, the shotgun, it says flip this card to gain 1 plus however many yellow cards you have. Yellow progress cards of Wrath. So if I flip this, I'd get 2. And if I seal this, I get 3 more. That's 5. And then this would be 6, and that would be waiting in the medium line. If I used this, I could get rid of this card completely, which costs us 4 ether to buy. I think this is a very last minute reply because then we lose it. We no longer own it. We'd have to rebuy it. This cost us 4 ether. It was huge to buy this. This should only be used in an emergency. So I think using it for this top thing is much more reasonable. So I think what we're going to do instead is flip this for 2 wrath, seal this for 3, that's 5. But maybe the smarter thing to do is say we're not in a hurry. If we've got plenty of time. Maybe we shouldn't be doing that, but I don't know how to. I think this might bring out another train, this 3 here. All right, let's not rush. We've got time. It's a gradual action, so you can pay it in half. I don't think that's right. I mean, genetics knows these rules much better than I do, but that's not really the way the rules work. That is not quite right, if I'm remembering the rules. Okay, so let me explain what genetics is talking about. Then I'll tell you why I think that that's a subtle rule that you're not quite right about. So what the rules say is that when a card is like this, 6 wrath per person. So if you had 3 players, you'd have to pay a total of 18. But you can do it gradually, and you use these to keep track of how many times you've paid the 6. So if I paid 6, I would put this here, and then the second player would have to pay 6. And then the third player can come by later and pay the last 6. So genetics was saying, hey, you can do this partially. Spend 3, pay half, and come back. But that's not the rule. It still has to be done in tranches of 6. That's the part that's a little bit confusing. So look at the rule about gradual actions. Gradual actions that scale with the number of players, they may be paid in several steps. Each time the basic cost is played, an intent marker. For example, 3 dreamers, 3 times 3. So you could pay 6 to get rid of 2 of them to do gradual progress. But you can't do a little bit of it. You still have to do it in 3 at a time. So the gradual stuff is meaningless for solo. You'd still have to do 6 at a time. You can't do less than 6. It would make more sense if you could. I think that would be fairer, or I don't know if fair is the right word. So I think here's what we're going to do. Because we've got a bunch more turns, we don't have a huge number of turns. We've finished half the game, but I think maybe what we'll do is we'll build up our hand a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over with this card to this space. And we're going to look at this reverse clock. And I'm just going to hope we have enough time to get on these trains. Okay, so 177. This clock seems to be having fun. The pointer speeds up, slows down, moves forward once, and then moves backward. Despite this, everyone looks at it and adjusts their watches again and again. You may seal 2 cards to add or discard the top turn card. To add or discard the top turn cards minus 1 turn card for each sealed card. All right, so we don't have to do anything. Jonathan was worried, but we don't have to do it. Now, we could seal 2. To add or discard the top turn cards, -1 turn card for each 2 sealed cards. To add or discard top turn cards, -1 turn card for each 2 sealed cards. This is another terrible explanation that is as clear as mud. Why can they not write good instructions? This is completely confusing in multiple ways. So presumably we would want to add more turn cards. -1 turn card for each 2 sealed cards? Does that include the 2 sealed cards that we have to pay? If we seal 2 cards, do we put 2 cards back on the deck? We put 1 card back on the deck? I mean, we're not doing it, but I don't understand why they're so bad at writing instructions. I don't think it's minus. It's just saying 2 sealed cards. 1 turn card for each 2 sealed cards. So does it really say, is it really saying that you can seal as many cards as you want, not just 2? And Genetics is saying you could use this to disappear turns to trigger the train to go away, but we can't do it, and we can't afford it, and we're not doing it, and I find it very poorly written. All right, so that's that. We could do that later if we wanted to. Unfortunately, we have these green cards that are not much use to us. I kind of want to get over here and look behind this thing, so I'm going to do that. But I don't love it because okay, well, I'm going to move with this over to here, and then I'm going to spend these 4 green to look what's in here. $164, and then I think we're going to have to try to get in a train, but surely something else must cause a train to come. The station is much bigger than we thought. Reveal tile X. Reveal Z, the degenerates, unless it's already revealed. When you reveal tile Z, spawn degenerates. Oh, that's not good. Now we've got bad guys on the map. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, reveal tile X. So we have another whole room here. Another whole room with a very short line, but no train there. A contact for information. We can look further in the tracks. We can check a box that's lying on the side. Come on, I should have gone 5 minutes ago. And then we've got a restroom that if we're on this, we would draw 2 cards. And there's water here. We don't know what that really means. Okay, and then we were told to get the degenerates out. So we can assault it. It's a human shapeshifter, which is one of these scary people. Although this looks like an animal shapeshifter to me, but maybe he's just wearing that on top of him. We can contact it to move it. He causes us, the yellow would cause us to suffer a distress. If he's within range 4, we set aside one of our items from storage and it's stolen, and we could try to get it back. This is pretty terrible. I think this is really, and he spawns right here. I mean, this is pretty brutal. And he's going to move and then cause us to be distressed. And then spawn. When the blue triggers, it's going to spawn in a space. When you get rid of a degenerate, you put this out. And then this would spawn in one of them. All right. I mean, that's pretty terrible. Maybe we just make a run for it and try to do this and hope we can get on this train. Bring the penguin back out. Yeah, the penguin can come back out. All right. I think we left the penguin here. Or here, really. So let's read about the penguin again. So we can move him. Unfortunately, I got rid of my greens, but we can move him. If he suffers any damage, discard him and return this card. Oh, if you are within range 0, you draw 2 more cards. So we could have been getting more cards this way. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to spend this card right now to move this penguin to us so he can be in the way if this guy tries to hurt us. And then we're going to try to draw in enough cards. 2 more cards we'll be able to draw. So we've got 6 cards on our next round, but I guess we got to do this first. So first he rolls to move. He got his normal movement, which is 2. So he goes 1, 2, breathing down the penguin's neck. Then he does the basic effect, but look, it doesn't help us. Each dreamer at range 0, which we are, would suffer a distress. So I think maybe not too many ways to help us here. I think we're just going to have to suffer distress. That's really unfortunate. And the penguin suffered a distress. And so he disappears, which means we don't draw more cards. That's really bad. But what's the odds that we can stop that from happening? We'd have to re-roll and try to get him to only move once. But only 2 of these are move once. Re-roll any die. Okay, let's re-roll this. All right, so before I move him here, I'm going to put these things back and put the penguin back. This is just brutal. No, he's not giving us baggage, but okay, so I'm going to use the... Oh, I'd have to spend a green to do that, which I don't have. This is just really bad. All right, I'm going to try to use our gems to avoid this guy killing us. All right, well, we got lucky. So I used a gem and he moved 1 space. All right, I'm gonna complain about this later. Let's just play it and try to enjoy it and not complain about it. All right, so the penguin is still out. Now we get our turn. Because of the penguin, we get to draw 6 cards instead of 4. That's the penguin's ability. So if we walked over to the medium line, we could generate 3, 4, 5, 6, and get in this line and maybe get on this train. So I think probably that's what we have to do here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's all the same. Flip this card to get 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe keep 1. All right, we're going to try to get on this train. So I'm going to move 2 with this card. 1, 2. We're going to leave the penguin here to absorb this guy's attacks. Then we're going to try to do this medium line and see if we can't let us get out of here. So I'm going to flip this card for 2 wrath. And then 3, 4, 5, 6. And we don't have to seal anything. And then maybe we can use these to do something else if we need to run away. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's our 6 to do the medium line, 149. Phew, we managed to push our way up the front of the line. Mark this line with a generic, even though that looks like blue. Can't tell if it means generic or blue, but okay, we've put the marker on it. When there's a train at this platform, you may try to depart. Check the conditions on how to get on a train. Okay, so we can get on this train. All right, so the good news is that now we can get on this train. We now have enough to get on this train. You can, at the end of a turn, it will leave if it matches the suit, which it doesn't, so it's not going to leave. We can get on a train if it's marked, there's a train, we don't have any baggage, and you meet the requirements of the train. And you're in range 1, which we are. All right, so now we have a decision to make. The penguin is decoying these degenerates. So nothing bad is going to happen to us on this turn. But probably there's not much to be gained for us waiting, because to get a different train, we'd have to wait. I mean, we might as well wait one turn. But if this guy triggers his red action, he'll steal one of our items, even if we're 4 away. So I guess we're not going to get on it now. We're going to let a turn go by, let him attack the penguin, and then... But I'm not sure what else we're going to do. Are we one turn further along? Did I not flip this? All right. So okay. So here his degenerate doesn't spawn. He'll can't attack and he'll move. All right, so we do have a little, he will buy us the time, but the train is not going to go away. So I'm not sure that we can really wait for another train, is what I'm saying. And what if the train is not one we can get on? So I think we're going to get on this train. Just because I don't see a good way. It's too risky to wait for another train. This guy is going to be on top of this penguin. Maybe the train goes, but what if a bad train comes out? What if a train comes out that we can't afford to get on? Then this guy's attacking us, giving us more distress. So I think we got to get on this train. All right, we're getting on the train. S308. Is that the good train to get on? We only ever saw that one train. We only ever saw one way to get out a train, which was by talking to this guy. Very odd. Like, how do you get the train deck to come out? What's the morph effect? I don't get it. Okay, so here's how it works. It's a little confusing, but how it works is they respawn on these purple locations, but the game doesn't start with any purple locations. The way purple locations come out is if you kill a degenerate. So you kill a degenerate, and it's the remnants of it become this purple token, which occasionally spawn new ones. So basically, you can never fully get rid of them. You just kill one, it turns into a threat, and when a blue triggers, it reborns in that blue. So all you can do is slow it down a bit. All right, we're getting on the train. When we get on the train, it says read S308. We could wait one more turn if we wanted to try to wait for another train. It's conceivable we could get, but what if it's bad? Then we're in a lot of trouble. So we're not doing it. We're just getting on this train, 308. The rickety train takes off, but we don't get very far. The dream doesn't end. Place this train card at the bottom of the train deck. Reveal tile Y, and we all start out right where the penguin is. No, we start out on A4. Okay. So unfortunately, the train didn't make it very far. So this train goes at the bottom of the deck. And we're supposed to get out tile Y. And we're now in the abandoned locked part of the station. Go through the mysterious door. Reveal card D. Speak with some people. I mean, this is terrible. All right, A4, which is all the way up here, and is not connected to the rest. Like, look, that's where these are. So apparently, this guy can't get to us. Because it's not connected to it. B1, B2, B3, and A4. Okay. So much for getting on the train out of here. How are we going to get on a train now? I think we're not getting on a train out now. I think now we're getting out through this door, maybe. All right. Well, I guess we're going to spawn ourselves right on there. You can see that, right? We don't have many turns left, though. We're going to have to get out of here. And we don't have access to the thing to turn back time. Go through the door. I think we're going to have to go through that door as soon as possible. If we can get to it. Okay, so he morphs, which just spawns if he can. Then he tries to bite anyone on his space. And then we move him. And he goes after the penguin. So we only have 2 more turns left to get out of here. Can we look at the tile close up? Yes. Do you see anything? There's a question mark on the door. There's some people sitting there. There's a bicycle. There's a box. You want to look at our tiles here? That's someone's face. And then, of course, there's the other whole page of tiles. All right, so I don't see any tiles, but we could take a closer look at this. I mean, we need to make good decisions now, otherwise we're going to die. So for 2 green, we could reveal tile D, which might help us go through the mysterious door. There's rats. We could try to talk to them. Do you have any moonshine? Which we don't. Speak with them. Who's them? We don't know. But we got to get out of here. All right, I'm going to leave this right here. I'll leave us right on that tile. All right, next turn. Okay, the next turn is a spade card, but that doesn't really matter to us. But we only have 2 more turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is kind of getting in our way at the moment. Right. There's our hand. To get out of the door, we need 8 red wrath. We can generate 3, 4, 5, 6. Three, 4, 5, 6. That's not enough. So we're not going to be able to do it this turn. Our best chance is to do it on our next turn and keep these cards. But what we could do, I'll tell you what we could do. Oh, wow, we got a little bit unlucky. On top of our deck is not the ability that would let us flip a card. If it was, we could flip this card that would generate 2 more red. I think what we should do is we should walk over to this space. Here's my proposal. We walk over to this space, we reveal card D, maybe it'll help us get out, and then I think we'll be able to generate 8 to get out on our next turn. Alternatively, we could possibly do this and this. What do you think? Should we try to do both of these? Contact and then reveal and go out? Or maybe we need to save our... I think maybe we need to save our actions here, so we can't afford to try to do both of these. So I'm going to move over for 1. Then I'm going to spend this 2 to do this card D. Card D. Card D is a fate card? Draw and place 1 Dreamscape Slumber tile. If there's a Kirk slot, place this here. What is this nonsense? How can that be what we're supposed to do? That seems so insane. Reveal card D, it says. It says reveal card D. Here are the cards for this set. There's card D, which is telling us something to do in the Dreamscape tile. What? What? You think it just means we get this But it does it say reveal it, or does it say just gain it? It says reveal it. All right, I guess we're just gonna take it. That cost us 2 to get this fate. All right. Okay. That seems so silly. All right. Well, the turn's over. He doesn't actually attack the penguin yet. He does his red action, which would steal a card at random, but he can't steal from the penguin. We are now on our last turn here. He is going to finally bite the penguin. Now we get 4 cards. One, two, three. Now we have to do this again. We're going to suffer a distress. That puts us at 6 of our 8 total distresses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I'm going to shuffle this anyway. Now, to go through that door, we need to generate 8 wrath. So there's 3 if we take another distress. 4, 5, 6, 7. However, if we discard this card, for 3 green, we can discard this card and unflip the progress we need to get 2 more. So I think what we do is we spend these 4 green and discard this card to flip over this card, the mechanical shotgun, or actually the easier thing to do might be to flip this one over and then use this assistant to place this steam bomb. Now we can discard for 5, 6, 7, 8, and we won't have to take a distress. So I'm going to discard this for 5, pay 2 more, 3 more, that's our 8. And that's enough to go through the mysterious door, and if this doesn't end the mission, then we're going to have failed the mission. So here we go. This is what's going to decide if we complete this mission or not, because this is our last turn. Four, 7, 9. Okay, so we're gonna lose. How is it possible in such a gray, hopeless place, among all the dirt, creeping rats, repulsive stench, and unhappiness, there's a door from which warm, comforting light flows out? It's so open and inviting. Why do people still sit here instead of giving in to its embrace? The door calls to us, stronger and stronger. Finally, we can't resist it anymore, drawn to it like sailors to a siren's song. Let's hope it leads to a better place. Put all dreamers in the B2 tile right next to the creature, or gain tile 239K, which is a dream gate, remove A4 from the game, gain a random influence for free, and place all dreamers in that space. Oh, we do have hours. We can use our hours to give us more turns. That's a great point. Okay, but why would you not... I guess if you wanted to try to get back to the A4 tile, you might pick the first one, but I guess we're going to take the second one, huh? All right, Jonathan is right. We have more hours. So we're going to... But if we don't choose the second choice, we would be on B2 and we don't know how to get to tile A4. And the train is gone. We have no train to get on. Okay. All right, let's do this part 2 first. Gain tile 1139K, which is a new dream. 239K. A strange incident in the secret laboratory. So we're going to keep this in our dream supply. Oh, we could get back to A4 with the ladder. It's true. But surely... I mean, surely we want this stuff. Gain one new random influence, which I'm just going to grab and put on our discard. And then we're removing A4 from the game. And we're popping out on B2, which is here, with the penguin still protecting us. We're going to remove A4. We're removing A4 and taking a dream gate. Okay, now we're almost dead. We are going to use Jonathan's idea to give us more time. So I'm going to go ahead and put another turn, and we'll just keep doing that as we need to. We need to figure out how to get another train to come out, unless some rule is broken and should have brought a train out. It doesn't seem like it. Well, we have turn to move. Now, one thing that was weird was in this train, it said if it leaves without us, a new top tile of a new train would come out. But when we wrote it, it didn't say that. Like it says if you ride on it, if it leaves without you, then a new train would come in its place. But when we got on it, it didn't say that rule. It didn't say that rule. It just said, place this train card at the bottom, reveal tile Y, and go on A4. Should a new train have come out? If not, we've got to find a different way to get a train out. All right, assuming this rule is right, we could easily die from too many distress. We are almost dead from it already. How do we get another train out? Our turn's not over yet. Doesn't seem like there's anything more to do here. We could jump over here, check the box lying on the track for 10 wrath, which we probably can't generate. We could ask about the schedule. Maybe that will bring out a train. Or we can look further and see a train. All right, so one of these has to be our way. So what do we want to do? Try to ask about the schedule or try to look further? Probably we need to ask about this schedule. So I'm going to spend 2 to move us here. We could try to move the penguin and lure this guy away. We'd have to spend green, though, and we need green. So I think we're just going to have to let this guy hang out with us. It's tempting to move the penguin, and then when this guy moves, he'll move far away from us. We could do that. Maybe that is more important. I mean, he moves 2. I could get him far enough away from us. I mean, we could spend our helpers to get 4 green and move this penguin like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this guy will roll and he'll hang out with the penguin. I think that's what we're going to have to do, actually. I think that's the only way we're going to avoid him hurting us. Because once he touches the penguin, he's going to kill it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend this little helpers for 4 green. I'm going to move the penguin 4. Oh, but then he'll go to the closest. That's not going to help us. Let me read this again. Treat the penguin as another dreamer. So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. He's going to move, he's going to kill the penguin, and then he's going to be near us. It's too bad I didn't think of that while we were on A4. I could move. I'll tell you what we'll do. Maybe we'll move here, then we'll be able to draw more cards. And then I could move the penguin too. Let's try it. I'm going to spend this to move the penguin too. I'm going to keep this in my hand. Then this guy's going to go. He moved his full 2. And then he's going to kill the penguin. I don't really have a good way to avoid that. Now he's going to come back towards us. Okay. Next turn, we're going to eat another of our clock to bring out another turn after this one. We're going to draw 6 cards, 4 normally plus 2. To be fair, you didn't think we were coming back here when we were on A4, yeah. Here's our ladder, which we could have escaped into A4, which probably we should have. I probably shouldn't have made that choice, but too late. Okay, so in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, he's going to make us discard a card. So I think we're going to discard it instead. Take 1 item from storage. It's stolen. Okay, well, he's still going to take 1. All right, I think we have no choice. We're really going to have to go here, do this contact, and pray for a train. So I'm going to, the ladder doesn't help us. I'm going to spend this to walk over here. Then I suppose I should have tried to re-roll him. Let me spend this once per turn to re-roll him. No, it doesn't matter. He still would get there. Okay. Now we're going to need to contact about the schedule because we're going to pray that that brings out a train. We're going to eat up our little helpers to do that. I mean, I could do it with these. Maybe I'll do it with these first. Okay, there's our 4 green. We're contacting 325. We're going to try to get a train to come into this station. Please speak louder. Mouth closer to the microphone. No, not that one. It's broken. The one on the right. Okay, now I can hear you, but I don't understand. Please repeat, just slower. Reveal the top 2 cards from the train deck. Place each of them on the empty platforms with the longest lines. Place the train cards in such a way that each one covers the upper 2 spaces of the map tiles with winding railways. You can't do this if there are dreamers, entities, or a train in those spaces, which there aren't. Okay, if all platforms are full. All right, so 2 trains are coming out. All right, so this is our Hail Mary. We have a chance now of not dying. Let's see what we've got. A luxurious train and a long distance train. Now, the luxurious train, we need a key or a ticket or the permit, which we don't have. So we are not going to be able to get on this. So let's see if we can get on this one. It's got no requirements, so this is the one we're getting on. Now these go in the two longest lines. Now the longest lines are these two here. We could choose, I'm going to say we can choose. Neither of them are disappearing on this turn, so that's good. Now, could we get, if we wanted to get on this one, we'd have to walk here, generate 8 wrath, and then get on. Very hard. This one already has its gem, so we just have to get to it. 1, 2, 3, so we can do it. So we're going to be able to get off this platform. So we're going to be able to do this, and before this guy triggers. 1, 2, 3. We just need to generate 3 yellow, which we happen to have. So perhaps we'll keep this one in our hand to use, and we'll... Actually, these are... This is a random. So let's do that. Let's spend 3 yellow. 1, 2, 3. And then the rules say we can get on a train as long as it's got a gem marked on it. There's a train at the platform. We don't have any baggage and we're within one. So that's it. Choo-choo. We're getting on the long distance train. It costs us 2 hours. Thank God Jonathan reminded that. Why don't we want the luxurious train? We do, but look at the requirements to get on it. To get on this train, you have to discard a key or a ticket and have the permit item, which we don't have. The rules say to get on a train, you have to meet the requirements on the train card. So the luxurious train we can't get on. We got lucky that we could get on this one. All right, and do we notice anything about this train that corresponds to any of our memories? I don't think so. All right, well, we're on it. Now, it says you may travel to, but I guess if you get on a train, we have to read 870 now. All right, we're getting on this train. I think it's a bit of a miracle that we managed to survive that mission. We had 6 of our 8 distresses, and this guy was about to give us some more. He's just watching us get on the train, I guess. That penguin kind of saved us. All right, here we go. We got on a train, 870. Do you meet the specific conditions from the train card? If yes, read on. Okay, so the answer was yes. The monotonous clackety-clack noise of the train puts us to sleep. It's like a journey between one dream and another, interrupted by short episodes of waking. It's funny because the Insomnia District appears on the station list. What else is on this list? Water Tower, Eternal City, some laboratory, Horizon. Somebody wakes us up when we get there. Each dreamer gains 1 ether. Each dreamer Cures 2 distress or unseals 2 cards. All right, well, we need the distress heal, so we're going to choose that. Retrieve all stolen cards if there were any. Relocate the team marker at any location on the Dream World map tiles listed on the train card. Then we gain Insomnia. Here is the version 2 of Insomnia. The version 1 of Insomnia is here. More complicated. Gain card B, which is Wisdom about the railways. This tells us how railways work. Okay, let's read that. Whenever you're on a train station location, you may resolve the train dream. Take all, which is different than this dream. Take all 120, reveal both setup tiles, spawn the conductor. If you survive the trip, then go to any other train station location. If you have any train ticket, you may return it to relocate the team without resolving the train dream. Okay, so when you're on a train station, you can choose to have this dream to travel by train. Okay. It's kind of funny. Add tile 237T, the degenerates, to the slumber deck. So that those bad people we met, it's actually a slightly different card. 237T. So we've now learned about the degenerates, so they come out to our dream now, and they might meet us in a slumber. So that goes into the slumber deck at the bottom, I guess. Add all of the C cards, which are train tickets. So I'm not sure where we would have found these, but we've got new train tickets that get added to the item market. The item market, okay. So these are now available to purchase. And all of our shopping cards come back. Where did I put our shopping cards? 241C, is that where I put them? We're going to talk about this in a bit. We're almost done here. 241C. Okay, so our shopping carts come back. They're not much help to us because we don't have much ether, but they're back in our supply. Change the season to ordinary days, which it already was. Now, you will probably return to the station many times, especially because you might have missed something, e.g. a hidden Dreamgate tile or a hidden Dream World map tile. Discard the current Dreamscape, return all cards and tiles of this dream, except for those already gained by dreamers or added to the gain decks to the secrets. Remove the Dreamgate of this dream from the game. Gain tile 239V. Sorry, where'd this train go? 239V. So we're getting a new way to have this dream, this similar dream. Remove the Dreamgate of this dream. Okay, so this was the one we just did. I have to catch this train. And now it goes, and in its place is this green one to come back to this dream. Gain tile 239S, which is yet another dream tile. I mean, you gotta be impressed by how non-linear this is. I mean, look, it's kind of crazy how non-linear this is. Like, we're getting all of these different dreams we could go in. And now it wants us to have a slumber? No, it's just telling us to set up this slumber for the next time we go in it. So we got 4 new dreams from this one dream we were in. From this one dream, we discovered 4 new dreams we could have. One that goes back onto the train, one that goes to a secret laboratory that we learned about in the train station, and then 2 totally unrelated. Some of these need 3 keys, 1 key. It seems like you need 1 key to go back someplace. Now, where are we supposed to go? Any location on the Dream World map listed on the train card. Okay, so here is the train card we just got on. And it lets us go Echo, Horizon, or Phantasmagoria. But the only place... Oh, no, Echo and... so we actually know how to go to 2 of those places. So we have to choose where to pop out for our next game. Where do we want to ride this train to? So we could go to Horizon, which is here where we had our memory, or Echo, which is here. You may travel to, and this says any location on the tile listed. Okay, so we could come to any location here or any location here. I don't think it matters that much where we go, because we're going to have to awaken, which is going to shift us to an awaken location. So I'm not sure it really matters. I don't think we can afford to go in a dream without resting. So if that's true, then it really doesn't matter where we go. I guess if we wanted to try to do one of these dreams before we rest, which I think is pretty dangerous, then we could try... We could try doing that one that was supposed to be our restful one. But we don't have any keys. We need to get keys. I think we need to rest. We're going to need to rest, which means it doesn't matter where we pop out. We're going to wake up in the awakening, right? That's the whole idea of awakening, is that place the team miniature in the awakening location. So it's too bad. I mean, this train can take us anywhere. And look, you can't get to Horizon. You can't walk to Horizon. You can't get out of Horizon other than by taking a train. Do we have a dream that's in Horizon? Yes, we do. The laboratory. Which would Cure to distress. Restore hours. Seal a card. I wonder if we could just keep looping on this. All right, let's put ourselves in Horizon. Then if we decide to, we can do this dream in Horizon. I mean, there's a sanctuary. The sanctuary can be used to heal stuff. Sanctuary, reshuffle your deck, unflip a progress card, unseal a chosen card, restore an item. It doesn't let you heal distress, though. But we could do almost everything else. This seals a card, but then we go shopping. Okay, so we're going to Horizon. And maybe we'll do this dream in Horizon once we get ourselves healed up a little bit. Why is the insomnia tile revealed? It told us to. Look. Victory. Gain tile 5 insomnia. So we actually did get it. All right. Yeah, we haven't connected it. Where is it? A3. It's right next to these tiles. The version 1 is here. So there's only 2 more places in the dream world we haven't discovered. Here and here. Horizon looks like a pleasant place. Maybe we'll hang out there a bit. All right. We can't go to Insomnia because the train doesn't go to Insomnia. All right. Let's take a 3-minute break and then come back. Yeah, we're going to go to Horizon, but we'll do that. I think we stop here and we'll figure out how we want to deal with Horizon on our next session, whether that's looping in the version 2 cards and just getting our health back or officially awakening. But I think maybe since it's hard to get to Horizon, maybe we should try to do that Horizon dream. But let's take a 5-minute break, and then I want to talk about this session a bit. So I'll see you in 5 minutes. We'll talk about it. All right. So we played about 3 hours this session. 3 hours last night. I'm feeling conflicted with this game. There are absolutely parts of this that I adore, that are right up my alley. I love the narrative stuff. I think the narrative storytelling is done well. I love this environment of this dreamy world with its own rules. I love all the little secrets that are just dripped out a little bit here and there. And it feels like we're going to learn how things work. I'm not sure we really are ever. And I love the non-linear parts about this. It's very unusual to have such a non-linear campaign game where we have all these different dreams we can go. I think they've been very clever in designing a world that can sort of be all these different disjointed dreams that are sort of semi-independent. On the other hand, I think this is sort of the second time where we've been in this really interesting world where we want to do a lot of stuff. And then halfway through, we trigger some random scary monster that basically forces us to run for the exit. And turns the game from what was a fun exploration to what feels like a panicked, desperate, random flailing about trying to avoid getting killed. And it feels kind of oppressive. So this is one of these things where mechanically, okay, so we got this creature out, the degenerates. They've got these mechanics that you could figure out how to work around. I can see that there's some strategy here. Like you can kill them pretty easily, but then they reform in the space. That's not, I guess, maybe we would have been smarter off just killing it each turn for 2. But with one character, it's hard to... With multiple characters, someone's going to be near it to kill it. With one character, he's sort of forcing us to hang out with him. But this fact that they can move so far within a range of 4, I can't say I'm having fun fighting the creatures. I'm having fun exploring, but the first half of this scenario was very fun, and then the second half didn't feel quite so fun. It felt more random, like we had no idea how to trigger the trains. We were just moving around till we did. It does trigger a little bit of the FOMO when you play this. Like, you can't go to all the places, you can't see everything, you can't interact with everything. It's a little stressful. Could it be because you had a lot of distress right before entering? Yeah, I think that's a fair point. We sort of came in here with not much spare distress to handle. And maybe that was our fault. I do appreciate how much of this game seems designed to be like, okay, you're not going to see it all. You're not going to see all the stuff. I do appreciate that. I just wish that... I wish that it didn't feel so panicky. Maybe that's the best way to sum up what I'm saying. Like, the parts that I'm having the most fun with are the walking around carefully, scarily, like, what's in this corner? What will happen when we open that box? And we've now had 2 scenarios where we had a little bit of that, and then all of a sudden the bad guy comes out, and it's like, well, that's it. There's no more creepy, scary lurking around. It's just that this guy is constantly going to kill you if you're not spending all of your time focused on keeping exact distance of him or killing him or quickly getting to the exit before the time runs out. I do feel like maybe the designers of this game are slightly misaligned with me. They're like half aligned perfectly, and the other half, instead of letting us explore, are like, you get to explore for the first half the scenario, and then you gotta rush for the exit. But you never know what's gonna trigger the rush for the exit. But maybe I guess there was no way to really get the trains to come out without triggering the degenerates. Jonathan says, I didn't find it as stressful on the other side of the screen, but this entity didn't seem like a super fun puzzle for one player. At least with the butcher, there was the gate to lock him up. I mean, I suppose with this guy, we could have been just attacking him and killing him for 2 every turn, and then he would reborn. I just don't know how I feel about this. Genetics, it's all good for us. Before we really tried to prep well before jumping in, we knew the game would try to ruin our peace eventually, but we just saw that as the main challenge. I guess it can't all be sunshine and rainbows during exploration. The struggle is what makes it interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can't really, I can't really disagree with that. It's one of these things where I can't really disagree with the logic of it. It's just, I sort of wanted to linger in this world more. I wanted to linger in this dream more, rather than be running for our lives. Genetic says, I guess it's clear the entities are the real deal, and they're really going to give us a hard time. That's the challenge we're up against. I think that's a very logical, fair way to think of it. Now, you suggested that we focus on our early dreams that we unlocked, so there was still one more that we hadn't done. Were you specifically trying to give us a hint not to go to Horizon? So let me tell you where my mind is out. Where my mind is at. I'm feeling like I want to see more dreams, and I want to minimize the pure fighting slumber stuff. So I think that I'd like to shift to the version 2 maps, which are designed to minimize slumbers. And I might even consider some house rules to make us a little stronger against the enemies. All right. Or I wonder, I mean, I don't know what the real rules are. When you die, do you really die? Or do we just get kicked out of a dream? All right. Well, I appreciate the companionship, camaraderie, the help, the advice. I will put everything away. It is fun. We did get a new penguin. We've got now a penguin and a flying cat. We rescued a dog. We discovered how to use the trains. And we discovered a whole bunch of new dream gates. And maybe, I mean, it was pretty dramatic that we managed to get out of that train station alive. It was not a sure thing. We were in real danger of dying in that train station. Maybe in retrospect, it won't feel as panicked as it did at the moment when we were in there. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I will be offline next week. Not offline. I'll be in the Discord, but I won't be in country. So we won't be playing any games together. I see more Etherfields in our future, but I am a little... it does feel like this is going to take 100 hours to get through. So I don't know what that means for us. I think Jonathan is going to be the voice of reason there. He's going to figure out how often and how much of this we play. I kind of want to see all the dreams. I want to see all the story. I just don't know about putting in the work against these monsters. But maybe we can figure out a way to make that a little bit. Maybe we figure out some house rules to beef ourselves up a little bit. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. All right. I'll see you all next time.